All right. So, hey, check me out. I am doing a TikTok live. Yeah. I know it's a surprise to, well, anybody who's not on the TikTok or the Destination Decluttered mailing list. And even the mailing list people were like, wait, I thought you were trapped in the Detroit airport. And yeah, I was, but then I got home. And then I decided, because decisions, we decide to do things. Decided to do a TikTok live and just see what the deal was. So I'm going to shove one of these fake chicken nuggets in my mouth as people join in. So I'm not going to be rude and chew with my mouth open. But hey, I realized it had been a few. Yes, Bianca, thank you for the welcome home. Yes, and I am home safe. It wasn't anything, actually, if anything, I feel like last night our flight was delayed because of the weather. I'd rather be late and alive than try to get home early and then have a tragic accident. How's that? Right? Robin, nice to see you. Tracy and DY and Rainbow Butterfly. I love it when things rhyme. So good morning. Excuse me, good morning. Creature of habit. I'm usually doing TikTok lives in the morning. But since it had been a number of days and I had a client reschedule because I do one-on-one coaching and I'm also wicked flexible about it, I thought, you know what, I'll show up right now and do a TikTok live. Yeah. So here we are. Here we are. Good afternoon, Dana. Nice to see you. Decluttering. My goodness, you guys. It's so funny. I got to find I don't know what day it is. Tomorrow is the last day of the month. Which reminds me, I got to probably check on my own. Did you I'll probably get into this more tomorrow, but just as a heads up, how's your habit tracking going, people? How's your habits and how are you tracking them? I did pretty well this month. All things considered, I will share with you that I am just not only a decluttering coach, I'm also my own client. And the fact that I fell off the wagon as far as tracking some of my habits. And so at the beginning of August, I decided to get back in the habit again and get, just start to do those little things every day that made a difference. Now, for me, the decluttering isn't my big deal because I've been doing it for so long that I have very little clutter. I have transformed my unhelpful cluttering habits with better, more helpful habits that just don't allow the clutter to build up they used to. I used to wait a long time and let everything build up to a certain level and then deal with it. And now I do a little bit at a time, I like to joke that it's kind of like I'd much rather be on the merry-go-round than the roller coaster, right? So I'm looking here, I'm reflecting back, and I have done pretty damn well as far as keeping up my good habits for the past month. I'm going to do it, going to continue it then. I'm going to do the thing that works for me. Robin says, I loved your video on packing when decluttered. It reminds me that it's about my whole life. Yes, and I will share this with you too, Robin. I packed, and I didn't even wear all of the clothing that I brought. Granted, we were only away for a few days, but there was a specific dress that I brought that I was like, you know what, I'm not going to wear this. And I actually made a decision about decluttering that dress based on taking it on vacation. And so one quote that helps me, so maybe this will help you, and it really changed my mind. I'm going to look at it here because I have it written down on my calendar or my computer right here. That really changed my mind about, and this is kind of a decluttery type thing, but it's also travel. Everybody you see when you travel, nobody's ever met you before. So they don't know if your clothing is new or old. And the people you see don't know from one day to the next, unless you're, I guess, on a cruise, if you're repeating outfits. And so what I heard this from somebody on TikTok, so I want to share this with you, because this may help calm your fears of not having enough. Ooh. Calm your fears of not having enough clothing with you on vacation, which is, I travel to see the world, not for the world to see me. Now, as soon as I read that, I had already been doing this anyway, But I was like, yeah, when I'm at home, I tend to wear the same clothes and I may wear something once or twice. I would much rather, this is me, travel light, travel lightly through life in many ways. Not be, I saw people at the airport, because I spent a wicked lot of time at the airport, that reminded me of cluttered people at home. They were struggling with these heavy suitcases filled with stuff. And they were bringing that stuff with them for fear that they may need it if they were away and they didn't have it. It's kind of like decluttering your home. Is like, or you're just the clutter in your home. It's so funny. I was about to eat and I'm like, got it. Like that guy who I follow. So just notice when you're packing for a trip where fear comes in. Ooh, I'm afraid it's going to be hot. I better wear, I'm afraid it's going to be cold. I should have brought, and it's also going to be imperfect. This is the other thing too, lowering the bar, decluttering and packing. Kind of like I did a TikTok live earlier this week about how decluttering was like wearing a posture bra. Decluttering is like learning how to pack better for your life, like packing better for a vacation. You're going to screw up, so get cool with it. You will not bring the perfect amount of stuff. Okay? There we go. Hey, I love it. So Jess from LA, full disclosure. Thank you for full disclosuring, because we can talk about that. Now this is funny. I'm going to make a joke of it. I also don't want to choke because I'm trying to talk. I can't walk and chew gum at the same time. I feel guilty watching you live if I've been slacking. Now, here's the funny thing. I'm chewing, and I thought you said snacking. Okay? Hey, LBD. Nice to see you. Jess from LA, let me help you with this, okay? I'm not judging anybody. I'm not judging you. You're judging you. What is that? I know you are, but what am I? You're not slacking. And even if you are, so what? Who's judging you? Who's saying that you should be here, but you're not there yet? You are. So cut yourself some slack. Get it? Wear some slacks. All of us decide the pace with which we move through life. Some days we're busting our butts. Other days, like some days we're at a clip, you're walking through the, and other times you're dragging your tuchus. Okay? Notice these things. Notice these things and don't judge yourself, you guys. If you're going to judge yourself to the positive. Say, you know what? I'm not slacking. I'm taking care of myself. I am tired. I decide when I'm going to declutter, and I decide when I'm not going to declutter. I make decisions that feel good to me. That may look different to somebody else, but so what? That's them. That's not me. So just practice this. This is part of the coaching. This is why I'm a decluttering life coach. I just don't, look at clutter and then, say whatever happens on either side of it is up to you. No, it's about how you talk to yourself and how you talk to yourself makes you feel about yourself. Now, judgment is over here on the side of so if there was a line down the middle, I'm always about, my clients know this, I'm always about folding the paper in half. It's about as crafty and about as origami-y as I get. You got a column over here, you got a column over here. The top, the umbrella over here is fear, the umbrella over here is love. Judgment is under the umbrella of fear. I'm afraid that I am not living up to some random expectation. Okay? No, notice when you judge yourself and you come out lacking, you're not likely to show up again. So notice that. You want to show up again and do the thing. If I were judging myself on my habit tracking, this smidge right here, I see all these potholes. This is why I call it for pavers and potholes, people. The days that I hit a pothole, I'm not like, oh, I screwed it up, whatever. No, I say I hit a pothole, but I'm going to continue. When I look back and I see this whole thing here, this is when I was in Los Angeles. I tried to do some of this stuff, and then frankly, I didn't track it. It wasn't important to me. But as soon as I got home, I got a nice run of days where I was doing stuff. Now here, we've only got 2 days left here. This was us in Detroit, so some of them kind of fell by the wayside. That's okay. Pick yourself up, dust yourself off, start all over again. Araceli, nice to see you. Oh, blast from the past, my friend. I hope you and your little kiddo are doing well, my dear. Oh, very cool. No, Cat Mama is saying, yes, sometimes they need a break for a few days and then get going again. Yeah, don't let it stop you. Don't let the words in your head make you feel a feeling that causes you to stop. Put some better words in your head that make you feel better, that keep you going. Okay? I love it. Jill says, the travel info is right on time. I'm leaving Monday for Montana from Ohio. Awesome. Have a wonderful time. And I will say this. If you're going to be traveling in the U.S., you cannot throw a stone without hitting someplace that you can inevitably, if you forget something, you can purchase something. Or you can reuse it. So maybe practice knowing where the fear shows up when you're packing, because the fear is showing up when you hold on to clutter in your home as well. It's the fear of needing something or wanting something and not having it with you. So examine, what would happen if I didn't have that pair of sneakers? Well, if I wanted to walk a lot, I would wear my sandals, and then I might get some blisters. So you know what? I am going to bring my sneakers on vacation. Okay? Now, sandals. How many pairs of sandals do I need on vacation? Well, I've got my Dansko ones that I can wear with a bunch of things. Okay, and then I probably need some flip-flops if I'm going to the gym, or excuse me, the pool. Other than that, I think I'm good. Notice this, the fewer things you have, the easier it is to make a decision. These are the only clothes I brought with me. I guess I'll get creative and make an outfit with them. Decluttering and travel is what I'm all about. And I love the feeling of walking through the airport with just my carry-on bag, like my wheelie bag, and a little bag underneath. I've even picked a smaller bag for the one that goes under my seat, even though I have larger ones that I could fit more stuff. But sometimes, maybe like a house, the more space you have, the easier it is to fill up. And then that's just more stuff you need to lug around. Okay? So, what do I want to say here? I don't know. Jess from LA says, thanks for cutting me some slack. Often we're, yeah. Often we're our own worst critic and judge. How about this? All the time. Nobody else is judging you as harshly as you're judging yourself. No, they're too busy judging themselves. And if there's somebody out there who's judging you as harshly as you are, or worse, F them. We don't need them in our lives, okay? There we go. All right. Oh, Araceli, he's getting big. I know. I'm using help you gave me to keep his baby room and clothing organized. Oh, so good to hear it. All right. All right, keeper of the books. I call him the keeper of the books. I have a horrible time getting rid of pieces of paper at my desk. Well, it says keeper of the books. I'm in constant fear. Notice what umbrella, people. What umbrella are we under? We're under the umbrella of fear. I'm afraid that if I get rid of that piece of paper, I may need it. So go a level deeper. Look at some of those papers and ask yourself, what would happen if I threw this away and I needed the info on it? Could I find this information somewhere else? Okay? I know myself, I can find out a lot of the information. I know I'm being rude. I'm chewing with my mouth open. I'm just talking with my mouth full, rather. Follow the paper trail. Take something a next step further. What's the absolute worst that could happen if a certain category of paper were gone? Now, certain categories are important to keep. I don't know, wicked important ones. My brain's kind of big. But what is the worst you could do? You know? So, what is the worst thing that could actually happen? Examine it and then say, okay, well, is that worth me keeping it? If it is, if it makes me feel good to keep it. And if not, you can do something about it. You know? Now, this is really helpful. And I promise that's my last piece of food. Rainbow Butterfly 87 says, I take my decluttering 1 hour at a time. If I do less, I don't feel productive. That's your choice. If I do more, I feel great. Yeah, notice what you've done. You have chunked it down. Chunking it down and doing a little bit at a time is like the most important thing any of us can do with pretty much everything in life. Okay? Because what you do when you chunk it down is you make it feel easy and manageable so that the next time you need to show up and do it, because nothing is a one and done, is that you feel good about what you did so you show up the next time. As many of my clients would say after we go through, like a thing in coaching, they're like, oh, that wasn't so bad. I was afraid it was going to be bad, but it wasn't so bad. Notice the fear. Oh, I was afraid that this thing was going to be giving me pain. Yeah, and Rainbow Butterfly, spot on. It says it helps me not get burnt out. No, we don't want burnout. We want sustainability. I want you. Who am I talking about? The royal we here. I coach you to develop habits that are sustainable for the rest of your life. Could I do this when I was 90 years old? Yeah, I could do a couple of dishes a day. Also, maybe not. Maybe I won't have the energy or the stamina, or maybe I will get dementia and I won't remember any of these stories of this stuff. So maybe I should start sooner rather than later before something changes. So notice how I approach these things, because I want you to take care of yourself. I want you to pace yourself. I want you to quiet down the backseat driver annoying crabby voice and turn up the volume, pump up the volume on the fun voice, the one that's saying, you can do it, we got this. Quiet down the little crabby kid in the back seat. Now, Mary says you could scan the paper and store it digitally. Yeah, you could, but here's what I want to get to. I want to help you think smarter, not harder. When you scan paper, you are really just not making, that's a decision you're making, but you're really just kind of making yourself extra work on the off chance that you might need these things. I would honestly say, frankly, because there are certain things that I don't feel value in return. If I'm going to keep the paper, I'll keep the paper. But saving this amount of space, what's in my notebook here? I don't even know how many pages are in this one. 70 sheets of paper takes up about this much room. You know how long it would take to scan 70 sheets of paper and then label them and all that? I just say, get to the root of the cause. Say, do I need to save this at all? Is something that I'm scanning? Here's a really interesting thing. Think about this. Pretty much every single piece of paper we have in our houses now that is official paper, right? Something that came in the mail or an email you got, is a paper version of something that already exists digitally somewhere. So if anything, if you're digitally copying a piece of paper, the people who sent you the paper probably have a copy of that. Just think about those things. Now, there we go. I love this. So Kimbo and Aru, I believe you pronounce it maybe. I want to rehome a large desk. It's solid wood and heavy. Who would I call to get it out of the house? Kimbo says, we listed ours locally for free. It was hard to give away back then. Give it a shot, you guys. You can, trust me. This has been a phrase that has changed my life for the better. You can't get what you don't ask for. Or it can't hurt to try, or can't hurt might help. Give it a shot. Put a free sign out of it. Put outside. If the weather looks like it's going to be nice this weekend where you live, and you have the ability to put something out on the lawn, put a free sign on it. Let your neighbors know you've got this thing. Get the word out any way you can. Share the info. Desk for free. Desk for free. Can't hurt. Might help. It depends on where you are. I would start simple. I would start with the people you know, because you may not have to go public with it. Hey, friends, anybody want this desk? Maybe somebody's been coveting it at your house all along and they're psyched you got rid of it. Okay? But do something. Give it a chance. Play. Have fun. Experiment. That's how I show up and do these things. And trust me, last week we had for about 2 hours max some shelves on our front lawn, a bureau, a folding chair. I had a couple of extra yardsticks that I didn't need. I put them out there with a free sign. Boom, they were all gone. There was one item that we had that was like this big heavy metal thing. Not like heavy metal, but it was heavy and metal. That we had from the front of a bus too long to describe. We got the part out that we wanted, and then I said to my husband, he's like, oh, I don't know if they're going to pick that up. The trash guys may not pick that up. I was like, yeah, but maybe a scrap guy will come by. The trash guys did not pick it up, but guess what? The thing was gone a few hours later. It cannot hurt. It cannot hurt, and it might help. And points for trying, you know? Get rid of the stuff you don't want. And if you are struggling to get rid of the stuff you don't want, that's where the life coachy parts come in. Notice the fear that's keeping you holding on to stuff. Okay? Notice these things. Yeah, any mover will do. Sometimes they resell. Could be. Judy just texted a friend to see if she wanted the elliptical that's collecting dust in my basement. Yeah, hey, anybody this weekend, you got anything you don't want? Maybe somebody you know wants it. You know? Yeah. And Cat Mama says, sorry about my huge monstrosity for very reason, but I do like it. Yeah. This is the wonderful thing, you guys. I love this, is that decluttering is personal. Decluttering is you saying, what do I want and what do I not want? Me, not you, but me. What do I want and what do I not want? It really doesn't get more simple than that. Now, the way in which it gets complicated is the thoughts up here. Well, what if I don't know what I want? Well, I used to want that, but I don't want it now. Do I really want it now? Well, I used to want it then, and I paid a lot of money for it, but now I don't want it, but now I paid a lot of money for it, so I feel guilty getting rid of it. Or I never really wanted it, but somebody else wanted it for me. Notice how these things just get things confused. At the very core loveliness of decluttering is discovering who you are today, August, you get a couple of days, and it'll be September of 2024, noticing what stuff you have carried over from past versions of you, loving all those past versions of you, but saying, do I need all this stuff from the past? And do I also want to continue to clutter up my house in the future? Now, this has been a game changer for me, again, kind of like how decluttering changes your whole life. When I go traveling anymore, I used to actively collect souvenirs and almost feel like I needed to. Like, well, anybody else ever do this? Well, I started a collection of magnets and it used to be fun, but now I'm obligated to get them because I used to do that. I did that and then I stopped it. I would collect snow domes. You guys have seen them in some of my videos. I've got over 100 of them. They're from the 90s, maybe even the early 2000s, but I really did it in the 80s and 90s. I collected snow domes. Notice the things you did in the past. Awesome. Do you want to do them now? Yes, no, maybe so. It's up to you. Do you want to do that in the future? I don't. I love coming home from traveling with very few, if any, souvenirs, and I make them practical. Like, for example, the one souvenir we bought this today, or yesterday, frankly, because it told a great story, is we got a slip mat for our turntable. And we got it at Third Man Records in Detroit because we had a wonderful experience there. We got a tour of the place, like this whole crazy thing. So now when I look at that slip mat, that'll also help our turntable. I have a wonderful story to tell, you know? So notice these things. Yep, Judy says the money is gone. It's paid for looking at it. Every day doesn't bring me the money. It brings me Yeah, and Judy, life is too short. Life is too short to be feeling like that all the time, right? I'm trying to imitate that little emoji you sent. You know, yes, Third Man Records, Detroit. Was it Cass Avenue? God, we had a wicked fun time. I highly recommend. Well, you see, here's the funny thing. I recommend Detroit, but it had things I like. It may not be the place you want to go to, but you do you. All right? So notice these things. Notice what works for you. Notice what doesn't work for you. What doesn't work for you is clutter. Clutter of all the types is the stuff in your life, the thoughts, the stuff, the clothing, the stuff in your life that doesn't do it for you anymore if it ever did. Okay? That's why it so freaking feels good when you declutter. Am I right, people? Because getting rid of something you don't like, I mean, I'm going to be gross right here, but your body does this every day. Your body takes in things it thinks it might need, and it's like nutrients, yes. Excrement, no. And your body, I'm trying to be very delicate here, your body gets rid of what it doesn't want on a daily basis. It's an organic process to say, I need this part of it, but I don't need that. Keep the stuff that nourishes you, nutrients. The items in your home, do they bring you joy? Joy is a nutrient. Or do they bring you a feeling of frustration and grr? Nope, nobody wants that. Poop that out. Okay, get that out of your house as soon as possible. That feeling of yuck. Mr. Yuck, okay? So notice these things, you guys. And you can do something about these things. Now, I love it. Ponytail Girl Vintage. My daughter just moved to the University of Detroit. Mercy, rock on. It's a cool city. I was digging it. I would go back there in a heartbeat. And I probably will. Because the things that I like to do, there are still more things to explore. I'll be honest with you, I have more money to spend on travel because I spend less money on stuff at Target or on eBay or on Amazon. Items that then I would have to stay home and take care of. The more stuff you have, the more stuff you got to take care of. You know? Ponytail Girl Vintage, she's only 18. She's going to have a fabulous time there. She's going to have a fabulous time. Very cool. Yeah. TikTok Live. This is me, Beth. If I didn't introduce myself, I probably didn't because our flight actually was canceled, then delayed. We had to get a hotel room. I just got home a few hours ago, but I felt like since one of my clients rescheduled, I would show up and do a TikTok Live. I'm a decluttering life coach. My name is Beth, and my coaching is called Destination Decluttered because I love to help you declutter because I know clutter is something you're not too psyched about. I think it's fun, and I want it to be fun for you because you know what's fun about decluttering? Getting rid of the stuff you don't like and then having space. Oh, space in your head for the good thoughts, space in your heart for the good feels, space in your house for the good stuff. Space in your calendar to do the things you want. Space, the final frontier. Okay? Decluttering gives you all of those things. So don't think about what you lose when you declutter. Oh, I'm going to give that away. I'm going to lose it. No, you're going to lose a lot of stuff that's making you feel crappy to begin with. Maybe it didn't back then, and maybe it does now. That's okay. The clothing that doesn't fit, the stuff you spent a lot of money on that didn't work out, it's going to happen. You know? It's going to happen. Get cool with that. I will tell you that I was so much more calm, cool, and collected to deal with our delays and our delays and our delays and our cancel, and then to get a hotel room, and then to wake up in the midst of my 4 hours of sleep last night to say, I have a feeling they probably changed our flight again, and they did, and it was leaving even later. Being less frazzled up here and in here, maybe just be like, okay, I'm just going to deal with this. I love it. Terry's watching from the D. That's awesome. Very cool. Decluttering is so much more. You learn about it. Here's the fun thing that I think is fun, and this is why I started to be decluttering life coach, is because I was talking to a new client today, and she was talking about perfection and the need to, if you're a nurse, you need to be perfect and you don't want to kill anybody. Dudes, clutter is not a life or death situation. It isn't. So you can't screw it up so badly that somebody dies, okay? What you will feel, though, is you're going to have to get in touch with yourself. And who doesn't want to hang out with you? Getting to know you and all that, you know? I love it. Judy just replanned her 25th anniversary trip to avoid the flight stress. There you go. You notice what something brings you stress. You do things to minimize or eliminate that stress. To me, getting all angsty yesterday, I could have been miserable in that airport yesterday. It would not have changed the flight one iota, but it would have given me an ulcer. So you know what I said? I was like, okay, well, you know what's really cool about this is we can stay at this, we can get some food at this lounge. Okay, that's cool. All right. Oh, the lounge closed at 8? Okay, we can walk around. We can get some steps in. We can go exploring. We can take some pictures. We can pop around the shops. It shows you how you are in control of how you feel at all times. And if things throw you for a whack, you can be like, whoa, okay, what do I want to feel here? Well, being frustrated and crabby and dramatic and reliving. Oh my God, I heard so many people on today's flight reliving the drama of it, like feel my pain. I don't want to feel your pain. I don't want any of us to feel it. I want us to know it happened and just move on. I'm like, dudes, we're on the plane now. This is really what it's all about, is reminding yourself you have a choice in your life and you can choose how you feel and what you keep and what you eat and all the choices. You know? Yeah. Melissa says, need to take bags to Goodwill. I just don't want to do anything super depressed. If you're super depressed, I bet taking the box bags to the Goodwill is going to make you feel better. You know why? Because you will be releasing the negative vibes from the bags. Now, I do not try to kick the world's ass, as I like to say. I do not try to kick the world's ass when I'm not feeling well. That's why, honestly, today I have some clients, so I'm gonna save up my energy for them. I'm gonna take a shower. We're gonna go out to dinner with some friends. Then I'm going to bed. I'm gonna take care of myself. So on the days that you're not feeling 100%, that's okay. You don't need to give 100%. But what I want to encourage you to do is on the days you don't feel 100%, you can still do a little bit. Break the habit of thinking all or nothing. I need to feel great or I don't do anything. 5 minutes of decluttering. Okay? 5 minutes of decluttering, even today. Oh, there we go. Judy, my 5 minutes is up. I got to get back to cleaning. Have a great day. All right. Judy, you rock. Go clean. All right? But here's the other fun thing, too, is you can use my TikTok lives as a place to just sit and, grab your... I'm hydrating, too, because God knows. I drank a lot of water this trip, but they were called cocktails. So I'm doing the things. I'm getting back on my habit tracker to make myself feel better, because when I feel better, physically, emotionally, spiritually, neurologically, I do better. So I may fall off the wagon for a couple days, but then I get back on it. Now, Judy is using the time for me doing this TikTok to sit down and just be like, you know what, I'm just going to scroll 15 minutes, maybe set a timer, 15 minutes, I'm just going to indulge. But I want to suggest this too. My TikTok lives, and it's not just me, people have told me that they put them on and then they do what I say is puttering and decluttering. Decluttering your surface areas. Surface clutter. Stuff goes closer to where it belongs than it is right now. And yes, Paula J, you're so right. After flying, extra hydrating is good, so I'm going to take another sip. Thank you for the reminder. We all can use reminders on the good stuff to do, okay? I love it. Maria Vega is saying, I'm cleaning and dancing while watching you. Kimbo is saying, I'm cleaning my closet while I'm listening. Awesome, you guys. So good. User 402 says, decluttering emails now. Okay? Yes, use the time you have for good and not evil. Use the time you have on the very precious short amount of time you have on this planet. Use it to move it forward to the destination you want versus sitting there and whining and complaining. Okay? Now here's a cool thing. Kimbo, you've already noticed. Kimbo says, we have inherited all our parents' things and my grams as well. We don't want it all. Awesome. You know what you just did? You have declared to the universe and to everybody on this TikTok live that you don't want those things. That is a wonderful decision to make. You don't want it all. Do you want any of it? And I want to share with you, everybody here, whatever decision you make that feels good to you, if it comes from a place of feeling good and love and trusting and giving you the feeling you want, that's under the umbrella of love. I feel like I should get two little umbrellas here. Then I would look like a mummer. But that's such a Philly thing. But if you're afraid, I can't get rid of any of it because it belonged to my mother. Oh, that was my grandmother's. I can't get rid of that even though I don't like it. There we go. M. Perez says, I am finally retired and finally cleaning up my extra stuff, which will make me feel way better. How about this? Never mind the will in the future. Let's talk about decluttering and how it feels good in the present tense, because that can help you embody that feeling. And decluttering is something you do to make yourself feel good. Okay? I feel better when I declutter. I am retired and I'm finally cleaning up my extra stuff, and it makes me feel way better. It makes me feel, not will feel in the future. When I do it, it will happen. No, right now you're doing it and it should feel good. If it doesn't feel good, you're not doing it right. Now, some of decluttering, when you get into sentimental items, is going to cause you to actually feel feelings, which may be uncomfortable to feel feelings. Feelings of joy, feelings of sadness, kind of what is that, salvage or something, saudade, something in the Brazilian language about that kind of bittersweet feeling of love and loss and all that. All those things mixed up together. It's okay to feel those feelings. The cool thing is you don't live in them. Those feelings last about 1 minute and 47 seconds. Now, the other fun thing is you're also making up your own stories about stuff, which can be fun. Kimbo says, my husband wants these ceramic chickens that have no tie really to either of us. They live outside. Well, they do now because your husband's saying, I like those, you know? Mary's doing her laundry. I love it. Notice that decluttering. Again, this is the life coachy part of it. This is why I'm not just, any old run of the mill buy the clear boxes from me on my TikTok shop. This is all about you feeling good in the body you have in the time you have on the planet. Decluttering does get, like, when you declutter, it also makes your future look and feel better. But right now, when you are decluttering and taking those actions and making those decisions, you are creating the future that you want. Because you are saying, the future is my Barbie dream house. I want these things in it, and I don't want those things in it. Just think. What you're doing is setting is building your future. You may not see the cumulative effect of it, but you know what? You see right now, at whatever age you are, and you're listening to me because you're decluttering, you're noticing that what you did a number of years ago is caught up to you, and you have all this clutter that you collected, or this stuff you've collected, and you're thinking, do I want it or do I not? Now, I love this. Ponytail Girl Vintage says, I've donated over 30 boxes in the last 2 weeks. That is great. 15 boxes a week, that's 2 boxes a day. Notice how I'm chunking it down. And she's working in the garage now. Awesome. Every little bit helps. Do you ever take a close-up look at the pyramids in Egypt? I mean, a picture of them. I haven't been there. Each one of those big pyramids is made out of little blocks. Every $1, every $1 million is a whole bunch of pennies. Okay, there we go. Strong Silver Soul Sister, glad to have you back, including your wackadoodle internet. So, I love to clue you in on, but it can feel overwhelming. If you're used to thinking, I can't do anything about this, to realize, oh shit, I can do something about this. It's me that caused all this clutter. Like the call is coming from within inside the house. I say it as an encouragement, because if you want a future and you want to feel good in your future, you can make that happen. Yeah. And you can make it fun. Ponytail Girl Vintage is sharing her info. I got my info. Ponytail Girl Vintage says, I made a game of it. Yes, make things fun. I touch every item in the room and say, do I love it? Do I love it? I like to think of this. Remember, we used to play the game like when you were trying to, like you hid something, or I spied with my little eye something that was purple, and then, getting hotter, getting colder. It's like, what temperature is the thing? Is it hot? Is it too hot? Is it too cold? Is it just right type of thing? Play with it. You guys, the stuff in your house it got there somehow. Little gremlins didn't show up overnight and put it there. You put it there for a reason. Just ask yourself, today in the waning hours of 2024's August, are those reasons to have those things in your home still legit to you now? Okay? Jen says, I don't have any room to sort. Suggestions? Yeah. Push things out of the way and give yourself literally like a 2 foot by 3 foot space, or a 3 foot by 3 foot square. Whatever you can do. You can sit on the floor. I do this all the time. I will sit on the floor. Nowadays, I have to sit on a pillow. And literally, just whatever like the rainbow is of how much my arms can do it, I will clear out that space. Boom. You have room to sort. You can sort on your bed. You can clear off things temporarily, putting things somewhere else to clear off a surface. Ponytail Girl Vintage is using 2 totes stacked to work on. The big totes, yeah. You can use the top of a tote as a sorting unit. You might not need a little bit bigger. But the other thing too is, Jen, if you don't have room to sort and you're saying, I have to get rid of stuff, start with your surface clutter. Start with trash. Start with stuff you don't want, the things that you've already made a decision on, and they have no temperature as far as your emotions go. You're like, nope, that goes. That's cool. I'm good. I don't need that. Get rid of that stuff first. That will give you space. Okay. There we go. Amber Petty is saying, I'm trying to dig out right now. No, you're digging out right now. Amber Petty, you are doing it. You're not just trying. No. You're not trying, people. You are doing. I am digging out right now. I am using my storage bins and my bed. Now, Jen, this is really cool. Notice you said that second idea is great. Yeah, notice. We're here to exchange ideas and exchange energy, because sometimes what we need is not just the physical stamina energy of to declutter, but the mental, emotional energy of why am I going to do this in the first place? What's in it for me? You know what's in it for you? Your destination. Why do you want to do it? Why do you want to do it? Why do you want to declutter? Decluttering takes time and it takes energy. So use your time and energy, invest your time and energy in something that's going to pay a dividend at the end. Don't just do it because you feel like you have to. Do it because you want to. Why do you want to declutter? I know I wanted to declutter because I was sick of having to take care of my stuff all the time. I was sick of like having to run around like a chicken with my head cut off when somebody would be like, oh, we're going to come over. I was sick of using my free time cleaning. I was just sick of it. I was done. And it didn't, and the stuff that I used to think, the stuff that used to bring me joy, like, yay, it was, The acquiring was fun. Anybody who's ever been a collector or anybody who's shopped, you see something, you're like, ooh, that could make my life better. Ooh, I like that. Ooh, you know that ooh feeling. You get that ooh feeling, but that's like a peak and a valley. It doesn't last with everything. Now, things that you enjoy, that you continue to appreciate, like, oh man, I don't necessarily say ooh about that, like, ooh, look at that sharp knife. But when you have a sharp knife and you want to cut a tomato, ooh, isn't it nice to have something that works well in your house? Yeah, there we go. Daydream says the mental energy for sure. I get decision fatigue, just want to think no more. Okay, you know what? When you get fatigued, stop. It's like walking, just tired. But then you know what you do? You rest up, you fill up your gas tank, and then you drive forward the next day making some decisions. Decision fatigue is a real thing. So make sure that you're not frittering away your decision making. Think about this. If let's say you had a gas tank in your car and it had like 20 gallons in it. I don't know. I'm totally making stuff up. It's 20 gallons of gas. And each decision you made, and it's like your decision making, and every time you made a decision, it decreased by like a quarter of a tank. So during the day, you could only make certain decisions and then you were done. Make sure you're not frittering away your decision making energy on stuff that just doesn't freaking matter. Save it for the good stuff. Save it for the important things. Yeah, Daydream says, I've wished for the Harry Potter movie, one that cleans the house itself for years. Yeah, trust me, we all have. It ain't gonna happen. I've been wishing for I Dream of Jeannie and Bewitched, tinkle, tinkle, tink, to come in and do it. But notice also, here's a fun thing. Remember Fantasia with what's his face, the mouse, Mickey Mouse? You can tell I'm tired. I was thinking Woody Woodpecker, but that's 2 W's instead of 2 M's. Okay, Mickey Mouse, Fantasia. He was like, oh, I just want the brooms to go do it themselves. No, that didn't get him the result you wanted. You need to be in control of your decluttering and your cleaning so you know what you have and you know what you don't. You know where it is. You decide to keep the good stuff. You decide to let go of the other stuff, and it makes it feel good. Yeah. Princess of a King says you want peace. Yeah, so do I. Decluttering gives me peace of mind. I love that. That's my favorite thing, is going, like when we came home today. Oh my gosh, there's no clutter around here. And then you know what I'm going to do? And I'm going to unzip my suitcase and I'm going to put things back close to where they belong. Am I going to like put my clothes in the washer and do the washing and then do the drying and then fold them and then put away? F no. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get the dirty clothes closer to where they should be. I'm going to empty out my suitcase, let it air out, and it'll be ready for the next thing. Okay? So, Maria Vega says, I found pictures that are good, but are from my children. She said they were little. What could I do? I don't know. If you want to save them, you can. If you don't, get rid of them. Or you can take a picture of them. Take a picture, it'll last longer. In the wise words of Pee Wee Herman, take a picture. It will last longer. Seriously, I have found some snapshots of family, and I've been able to just take a quick picture. And I mean, nobody's printing out. Nobody wants to print out the family photos as much as they used to. When the only way you could show your photos was to print them out, we printed them out. We don't need to print them anymore. We can take a picture with our phone and text them to people, and then everybody in the family knows what Grammy looked like when she was 15. Yeah, they are not that good taken. So You can decide what you want to do. You can keep them or you can throw them away. The decision's up to you. And there are no wrong decisions. There are no mistakes in love. Patty Smythe, hope you're doing well. P.S. Do the best you can with what you have. But keep the stuff that you love and let go of the stuff that doesn't matter. Yeah, printed them out and then 80% were bad. Yeah, so throw away the bad ones. This closet right over here that I'm pointing to, that closet has my photograph collection in it. I have photographs starting in the 70s because I had a little Kodak 126 Instamatic. There are a lot of crappy photos. We never knew what we had until weeks later when the stuff came back to the the place. I'm totally hitting a wall right here. The drugstore. So did you keep all the ones? I probably have pictures in there now that I could easily get rid of now, or just snap a photo and say, oh my God, you guys remember that party? Here, everybody has a picture. I have a digital copy, and then I could throw it away. Okay? I say this because the main takeaway for all of this is, it's funny, my brain was like, tell them you're a one-on-one coach. And I was like, yeah, but I don't even have any coaching slots available right now. I do one-on-one coaching on TikTok. On Zoom. It's wicked easy. I love it. But I will talk about that more when I can actually say, and sign up if you're interested, because I don't have any space right now. But what I will say is this. I would love to leave you with the new insight of if something's bugging you, you can do something about it. And if you're not doing something about it, notice where fear, backseat driver, fear is showing up in your life. What are you afraid of? What are you afraid of? What you're going to notice is something really small can cast a big shadow. So the thing that you're afraid of, you see the shadow when you're afraid of feeling is when you look at that one photo. But when you finally turn and you look at that tiny little thing, it's just a tiny little thing. It's going to make you feel a feeling. You're going to get through the feeling in about 1 minute and 47 seconds. You're going to be on the other side of it. Notice how many times we push off things that we are afraid to feel the feelings or do the thing, and then we do it and it's just done now. I put off a project that I was doing for somebody else. It was a 1-minute-long video that I promised to do. I pushed it off for a year. I know what I'm talking about. I'm not like Moses with the tablets looking down on everybody. I do the same thing. But man, does it feel good to be like, oh, it's cool. That thing's just done now. And I do this more often now, so I don't let things drag on. That letting things drag on, pushing off, delaying the decluttering is a habit that I'm gotten better at. And now I just live much more in the moment. And the moment is all we have. Yes, and Susie Q27 says, and when you finally complete the thing, you feel so accomplished. That's why I don't come to your house and declutter it for you. I could, but I don't. Because that doesn't last. I want you to realize your own power, your own agency, your own badassery. That you can do the thing that you're afraid to do. And decluttering is a wonderful, safe space to learn about your power of being able to do the things you're afraid to do. You're just afraid of some stuff at Target that has stories attached to it. Once you realize that that's no big deal, and then you start doing other things, you're going to change the world. And even if you don't care to change the whole world, by you changing your world and feeling better, you have a positive ripple effect that you have no idea. You have no idea how that even, where it ends. You don't know what you're doing today, how it affects other people. That's why I decided when my client said, oh, hey, I realized I have something scheduled, I can't make it. I was like, no big deal. I'll show up and do a TikTok live. Yeah. Rena says, do you ever feel reactions from seeing other people's clutter out in the world? Yeah. If it's out on a trash pile, no lie, I will look at it and I'll say, ooh, is there anything there that I need? And the answer is like, no. My answer is like, no, I'm good. And then I see people and I'm like, oh man, I wish I could help them. I want to help everybody with clutter. I wish I could help everybody. But you have to want to be wanting to help. You can't change somebody who doesn't want to be changed. The whole lead to water, horse, drinky thingy? Yeah, no. I only help people who want to be helped and are enthusiastic about it and are willing to experiment and try different things, because what you're doing right now is getting you the results you have. Think about that. The way you got to where you are is doing the things you did yesterday and the day before. Once you get that insight, whoa, really? That's how I got here, by doing all that stuff? Yep, that was me. Oh, ew, okay, noted. Do I want to keep on going in this direction? Cool, no big deal. You don't have to change a thing. You're going to keep on going. And you're going to keep on going, and stuff's going to be the same. But, all my friends have big butts, Simone. But you can do something about it. If you want your life to be different, if you want your home and your clutter to be different, hello, the universe just gave you me as a person to help you with that stuff, if you want to. Now, it's just not me. I don't drive the car. I feel like I'm pee-weeing all over the place. It's like, I don't train monkeys. I only feed them or whatever it is. I don't own monkeys. You have to do the driving. But you're going to want to do it when you're excited about where you're going and you find different ways to do it. I get the shortcuts, people. I don't want this to take any longer than it has to. I want it for you to take I want you to learn the lessons, do the things, repeat, get done with it and be done. Even if that costs me money, because instead of a couple of packages, you sign up for fewer packages with me because you're making the progress, I will take that in a minute, knowing that you're getting your stuff going. But if you have decades worth of thinking and acting with stuff and clutter, it's going to take you a while. It's like gaining weight and losing weight. It's habits, and it's correcting yourself and doing the things and being kind, all that stuff. It's up to you. But you can start small, and you can start at a pace that works for you. That's why I say there's surface clutter, stored clutter, sentimental clutter. What else? Categorizing is a big thing. Trusting your gut, the traffic signal in your gut, to say, is it lighting up my heart green? Do I love that thing? Do I want that thing? Even when you're out shopping today, do I love that? Or do I really want it? Or is it just kind of a flash in the pan? Like, ooh, he's cute. And then you find out he's a jerk. Or are you saying, yeah, I guess I could buy that. I guess I could get yet another, cheese spreader, even though I have a bunch of cheese spreaders? Or do I not like it at all? Tuning into yourself and what you want. This is what it's all about, Charlie Brown. And that's why I show up in the world randomly or not so randomly, because I do TikTok lives a lot. I enjoy them. That's why I choose to spend my free time making them. Right now, I realize my phone's where's my little thing here? I could be on my bed scrolling on TikTok. I was doing it a few minutes ago. Rena says, what are my thoughts on overconsumption or underconsumption? I love this. Is underconsumption and overconsumption are indicative of the same problems. It's not feeling just right. When you don't have enough, you want more, and you think you need more, so you overconsume, but that still comes with its own set of problems. It's not feeling good. When you're hungry, you don't feel good, but when you're overstuffed, you also don't feel good. What I strive for in my life and with my clients is feeling more of that just right feeling. Okay? So notice that. And are you feeling over-consuming? I feel like we over-consume because it's built into our narrative as a consumerist society to buy things, to look outward for solutions to internal problems. But you know who tells you to do that? Is the people that are going to make money for you buying their shit. I say take a U-turn. Woo, right here. Work on this, and a lot of the stuff there you don't need anymore. But there's fear and love, and there's introspection involved, and we are not encouraged to introspect in this society either. So I'm a rebel, Dottie. That's what I encourage you to do. Quiet down the outside people and say, what do I want? And it's not greedy, and it's not selfish. It's required. Because when you treat yourself better, you're treating other people better too. And when it comes from love and not fear. Now, talk about fear. Brick Factory Design says, it's the I really could use that later for me, almost always related to supplies for my small business. Nothing wrong with that. I am a person that is like, if you have it, you should use it. But notice the stuff that you have. Make a plan then to use them. Say, I don't go to Staples. I don't know what your things are. I could use it later, but will I use it later? And if the answer is yes, make a plan to use it. Even if you're not a small business person, you have a pantry, you get some cupboards with food in them. Notice the food in your cupboards you're not eating. You're buying food on a weekly basis at the grocery store, But there's stuff that stays in your cupboards. Why aren't you eating it? Part of you thought you were going to eat it someday. Oh, I know. I'm going to buy that can of sardines. I'm going to buy that can of beans. You know? Are you eating it today? Nah, I'm going to eat it later. There's something else I want to do. You know, so make a plan for the stuff you have. We do this every time we travel. My husband and I, he doesn't like it, but we do it. Is I say no more fresh food coming in until we eat everything in the fridge so that when we go away, there's not food just rotting in the fridge. We have a very lean larder, I guess. And I say this to you because you can do something about the stuff that bugs you. You did the stuff. You are living with the results of the decisions you made about buying things. Oh, I thought I was going to make some hush puppies, so I bought the hush puppy mix. But then I realized I don't want to deep fry anything, so it's just kind of sitting there. Well, maybe I'll make them someday. Yeah, but I probably won't because I haven't made them this far. Have those conversations with yourself. Now, we're talking about stored clutter today. Did you notice that little bit was me almost mentally looking in my cupboards? Right? Not surface, it's stored. You need to listen to yourself think when you have these, and don't beat yourself up while you're having that internal conversation. Okay? There we get it. Carla Jane, nice to see you. Sorry I'm late. Well, you know the cool thing is, Carla Jane, is that I'm here because Carla was busy. So good stuff. I made the decision to buy a large industrial shredder because I despised burning it. So notice, you made a decision to do something about the stuff that bugged you. I decided to get rid of our shredder, and I brought my stuff to Staples, the UPS store last week, and I paid somebody to do it for me. I did it me. There we go. Mama Pepper is saying, I'm eating off the shelf this month. Less to move back into after the kitchen remodeling. There we go. Yeah, and also Carla says, and notice, I put things off until it was out of control. No, let's not do that anymore, you guys. Let's do a little bit at a time. Don't start one day and think you're going to run the marathon. Start a little bit at a time. And actually, I don't want to run a marathon. I just want to keep on walking in life. Start today. Start small. Start tomorrow. Start small. Lather, rinse, repeat. It will have more of a positive effect on every area of your life than if you try to do it all at once. Notice the habits you have that got you cluttered. Flip them on their bellies, flip them on the other side. That's how you're going to get decluttered. So notice these things, you guys. There we go. Yeah, Nixie says, I work to help an older brother with clutter. It's so hard, I try not to judge. Trust me, I learned the hard way. We all learn the hard way. It's really hard to help the people that you know. I help my mother. I'm really having a hard time. I help my husband. He knows it with his clutter. It's really hard not to judge people. But we judge ourselves with our clutter. It's easy for us to see it in other people, but then when we turn that lens back on ourselves, it's okay though. We're all learning. We're all humans. We're all imperfect humans on this planet, doing the best we have with the skills we have, with the energy we have, with the lessons we were taught or not taught as we were growing up, right? Yeah. Michelle's noticing. I hate it. It's called aging. I can't do as much in a day as I used to cleaning a house. Yeah, me neither. That's why we have to work smarter, not harder. That's why I love the fact that even though I didn't like working in corporate America, except for the regular paycheck, I love the fact that I am also a process engineer in my head. So I make things as simple as possible because I don't want to spend any more time that I have to cleaning. I want to spend my time having fun. Kate says, I've really been absent from decluttering, trying to get motivated with a bag or box challenge every day in September. Okay, Kate, how about this? I'm assuming you're on my Destination Decluttered mailing list. If you are, you know how to access the info with all the good stuff. Print yourself out a habit tracker. It's empty here and just say box of decluttering per day and then start on the first of the month. And then every time you do it, you fill it in. Okay? There we go. I love it. Carla Jane's mixing up her habits. If I put the shredder in the garage, it is closer to the trash can, and I can shred junk mail before it comes in. Yeah, notice you're putting up the little traffic cop hand. Okay? So, I hope me showing up today for this impromptu TikTok Live has been helpful. I need to sign off because I have an afternoon of coaching, and then I'm going to take a shower, and then I'm going to walk downtown, and I'm going to have some lunch with some friends, and then I'm going to bed. I hope this was helpful. Tune in again to The Muppet Show. I'm doing TikTok lives for the next many days. If you're on the mailing list, you know when. And if you're not, you want to be on the mailing list, destinationdecluttered.com. Like my TikTok page if you haven't liked it. And I will see you guys. I'm trying to be all kind of sneaky. I'll see you guys the next time I see you. All right? DestinationDecluttered.com if you want to be on the mailing list, okay? Bye. I'm like, okay, come on, let's go.